Hey, everybody, this is Jack McGrath. So, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about how to get you smarter faster on designing learning journeys. So, please stick around. So, let's start out by talking about the big number. Let's talk about the amount of time that it takes for a skill to become outdated. 5 years. Okay, that's according to a recent study by the World Economic Forum. Now, I don't know about you, but when I went to college, I assumed that when I graduated and got that degree, my skills would at least last a couple of decades. And in fact, in some cases, they did back then. Today, with the speed of change and technology, 5 years is about the best you're going to get. So, what do we need to do about this? How can we? What this means is now you not only have to upskill your new hires, but you also need to continually provide training for your existing employees. So, how can we do that? Well, let's talk about learning journeys. A lot of you may have heard about learning journeys. The benefits are that you provide a great way to efficiently create role based training that people can subscribe to. And there's other benefits as well. The other benefit is that it follows a learning design that's really talking about the evolution of training. And that is where we're moving away from the concept of completions. Hey, I just care to make sure that my learners have gone through the courses, they've completed it, it's in the LMS, they're checked off, that's great. So that, and we're moving away from the one size fits all. Let's build one onboarding training program that everyone needs to take, no matter what role they serve. Terrible, terrible. Instead, learning journeys allow you to move towards the concept of competencies, which is that at the end of training, what can your learners know and do? It's got nothing to do with completions. The second thing is it's got to do with the one size fits all moving to individualized and contextual content. And everyone knows that basically if context is king, if you're needing something right now and it's targeted to you, you're going to remember it and apply it. So that's what we want. And that's what learning journeys will give you. So what I want to do today is just kind of walk you through the first portion of building a learning journey. And we're going to design that in its 3 steps. So first off, you want to identify the top performer in your organization for a particular role. The next thing you want to do is model the behaviors of that top performer so that you know exactly what the measurement is. And finally, you want to map those outcomes and those behaviors back to specific training. That's how you design a learning journey. So let's talk about each of these one at a time. So first off, I want to introduce you to Sydney Fisher. Sydney is the star salesperson at this company, right? So the ideal thing would be to clone Sydney, but until we can get that cloning machine working, we're going to have to make do. And how do we make do? We want to find out what is it that makes Sydney tick? What is it that makes her the top performer? And how do we create that in a consistent way that we can scale so everyone can have the opportunity to be as successful as Sydney? So let's take a look at it. First off, we want to model the behaviors. What I recommend in this case is that you provide a series of brainstorming sessions that are around a particular role. In this case, we want to model the behaviors of our account executives. So I'd recommend actually inviting Sydney into these sessions along with the key stakeholders that are related to this role. Because the idea is you want to start to identify what are those particular behaviors that Sydney does that makes her so successful. Okay. And what we've done is this is just a quick draft. And this is, the communication skills, the sales skills she needs, technical skills, negotiating skills. But you'll notice that we're getting to outcomes. What exactly does she need to do that makes her so successful? It's not about what she needs to know. It's not about passing her through compliance training. The final thing on the design is you want to map these behaviors back to particular learning. Now, what you might notice is that I've basically taken this area and I've created the skills and tasks in this column and then the behavioral examples here. So you'll notice that it goes one step deeper. So not only does Sydney present the company's products and services, but how does she do that? Well, she develops really great PowerPoint presentations. So the benefit of doing it this way is you'll notice that what I have here is a listing of specific behaviors I want to model and map. Now I can inventory my internal training and find out, hey, does that already exist? In this case, we've got a really good presentation skills course course, 15, 315. So what we're going to do is map that back to this learning journey. It's e-learning. And upon successful completion, they'll have achieved about a 4 out of 5, and we'll talk about that later. Okay, so you'll notice. Now, one thing I also want to bring up here, I think is important, is that in this case here, she also uses active listening, okay, and note taking. Well, you could throw her through training, but it might be better to just build a job aid. Okay, you can build a job aid really, really quickly. And it's great for skills practice because now her supervisor or her mentor can actually observe that she's acquired that proficiency that she needs, okay, and gives her very, very tailored feedback and remediation. Again, so that's totally valid. Not all training needs to be a learning course, a training course, an instructor-led course, or mobile course, any of that. It could be as easy as a job aid. So next, what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of recap and say, what are those 3 steps to designing learning journeys? First off, again, identify that top performer. Who is your Sydney Fisher in the organization? Have a specific persona in mind for your role, and that's what you're going to use to model those particular behaviors. Now, the benefit is if a brand new system comes out, you can add those behaviors to your model. So you're never, you can keep it updated a little easier. Then you map those behaviors back to training. Now, what we're going to do next video is I'm going to show you how do you create a learning journey based on these insights. So thanks so much. If you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, I hope you'll like it, share it, and please subscribe and ring that bell. Thanks so much.